Inequality turns people into monsters. Not biologically, of course, but in terms of behavior, yes, it does. But what exactly happens that people behave like monsters? A lot of options are on the table, but today I'm going to talk about one of the most crucial factors, inequality. If you are interested, let's dive in. Before we dive in, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Human channel for more contents like this. We're posting brand new content once every 2 weeks about wealth tax, extreme poverty, and inequality. Alright, now let's begin. Extreme inequality systematically triggers incentives and social structures in a way that increase violence and moral disengagement. Yeah, that was a little heavy. Let's break it down and see 4 forms that demonstrate inequality in a society. Have you ever heard about chronic relative deprivation? People don't get angry just because they are poor. They get angry because they see that there are some other people that are living very wealthy in the same society, and that feels unfair. Do you remember the movie City of God? In that movie, the problem wasn't just poverty, but it was the wealthy neighborhoods that poor people couldn't even think of. That feeling creates humiliation, and you start to think that you don't have any future. You become so small and invisible that you have to fight for being seen. We are always fighting for some respect, and sometimes, in some conditions, violence can feel like the fastest and best way to be seen. When society blocks dignity, violence can look like power. The next factor is called the scarcity mindset. When people are living in constant shortage, their mental focus becomes narrow. Behavioral economics studies show that scarcity can narrow the cognitive bandwidth. People start thinking more about today, but less about the future. In highly unequal societies, long-term planning goes down and immediate rewards go up. In this case, committing a crime or joining a gang can seem like a practical survival method. Right now, the only judgment that we might have is that, do these people even know what morality is? But it's not always about morality. It's about decisions that poor people make under these circumstances. Coming up next is segregation and moral distance. Inequality separates people, not just physically, but also psychologically. Wealthy people rarely see where rich people live. On the other side, poor people see wealth like everywhere, but they cannot touch it. This creates imbalance and anger. Over time, people stop seeing each other as fully human, and that makes social and moral structures weaker. Eventually, something called dehumanization happens. Last but not least, we have weak regulations that put survival over ethics. High inequality reduces the trust in the society, and when people can't trust the system, the rules become less meaningful. Low-trust societies usually have more crime rates, more corruption, and less cooperation between the citizens. If institutions are not fair, people stop relying on the law. They start relying on personal networks and relationships like family, friends, groups, and gangs. Illegal force replaces law, and everyone is just looking for a place to stay and have something to say. And eventually, the only question we ask is, who are these monsters? Inequality doesn't create evil people. It creates systems that reward or normalize antisocial behaviors. In highly unequal societies, violence becomes currency and indifference becomes protection. That's when ordinary people under structural pressure can do some extraordinary harm. So that was that. To wrap up, I should say that evil behaviors do not start with evil people. Actually, they are a result of the system. These pressures are not created by ordinary people, but they shape how people act. And sometimes they make survival choices look like moral failure. Before we simply call someone a monster, we should look at the context and the society that they're living in, and to be honest, put the major blame on that. Currently at Human Egg Foundation, we are gathering signatures for our very new petition and fight for wolf tax together. You can just simply join this petition and sign it by entering your email. So we will be happy and we are excited to grow our community together. And later we will inform you on the updates and results. Lastly, if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Human Egg channel for brand new information and content like this. I'll see you soon in the next video. Bye for now.